Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. Before the dawn of stars, before galaxies spiraled into light, there was only Knull, the first god of the void. He was the silence before creation, the shadow before existence. When the Celestials carved the universe from his darkness, they brought light to his domain, and Knull hated them for it. From his rage was born a weapon, the All-Black Necrosword, forged from his own shadow and hate. With it, he slew gods and drowned their radiant bodies in black seas of symbiotic matter. The universe trembled at his name, and from that terror, life unknowingly carried his infection. The symbiotes, fragments of his abyss given shape and hunger. For eons, Knull ruled from the void between galaxies, his consciousness threading through every symbiote ever born. Venom, Riot, Carnage, all were extensions of his will, unaware that their existence was the echo of an ancient god's dream. But even gods are defied, and one act of rebellion would spark a war across eternity. When Eddie Brock, host of the Venom symbiote, was healed of his cancer by the mysterious energies of Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, something changed within him. The corrupted cells of Venom fused with Lee's healing light, and from that fusion emerged something new, could not control. Eddie became Anti-Venom, a being of pure cleansing energy that could burn away symbiotes and sever Knull's ancient hive link. At first, the change was subtle, a burning aura, a voice of clarity in Eddie's mind. But soon he began to feel something greater, silence. The whisper of the symbiote hive, which once haunted his dreams, was gone. He was free. The darkness that had once consumed him now recoiled from his touch. To Knull, this was blasphemy, the first symbiote-born creature that could reject his command. Knull, enraged, stirred from the depths of the abyss. Across countless worlds, symbiotes screamed as their god awakened. His consciousness flowed through the void, like a black tide, pulling stars into shadows as he searched for the one anomaly that had dared to sever his chain. His power darkened entire systems. His will summoned storms of darkness that devoured suns. On Earth, the skies began to blacken. Storm clouds twisted into unnatural shapes, and the stars vanished behind an oily haze. The air grew heavy, and even Venom felt it. A dreadful recognition. He's coming, Venom whispered through trembling fangs, the god of our kind. Eddie, now in his anti-venom form, felt it too, a pull from the darkness that once owned him. He stood atop a burning rooftop in New York, his body radiating white fire, the skyline behind him dissolving into shadow. "You want your creation back," Eddie muttered. "You'll have to take it from me." Miles away, Carnage knelt in reverence, his body writhing in ecstasy as Knull's consciousness poured into him. "Rise, my child." Knull's voice echoed through Carnage's mind, deep and cold as the void itself. The false light dares to defy the abyss. "Bring me the one who calls himself Anti-Venom." The hunt began. Symbiotes across the planet convulsed, possessed by Knull's will. Entire streets turned into living black rivers, devouring cars and buildings. Anti-Venom leaped into the chaos, his aura bursting like a flare, burning through the sea of darkness. Wherever his light touched, symbiotes screamed and disintegrated. Yet with every one he purified, more came, endless, tireless, all connected to their god. In the heart of the storm, Knull descended. The skies tore open as a colossal form emerged. Pale skin, flowing hair of shadow.
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
Armor dripping with cosmic ichor, the all-black necrosword shimmered in his hand like a slice of night itself. Every heartbeat in the city froze. The god of the abyss had come to reclaim his lost fragment. Anti-Venom looked up, feeling the ground quake beneath him. Knull's voice rolled through the air like thunder. "Eddie Brock, you wear what belongs to me. You are a corruption of my perfection, a disease within the hive." Eddie's eyes blazed white. "No," he answered, his voice steady. "I'm the cure." The two forces stood opposed, one forged from chaos and shadow, the other born of healing and light. The air between them warped, crackling with power that split the clouds apart. Knull raised his sword, and from it rivers of darkness erupted into serpentine forms, hissing and coiling toward Anti-Venom. Eddie charged forward, his body blazing, vaporizing the darkness with every strike. In that moment, the earth became a battlefield of creation and destruction. Darkness reigned from the heavens, and light rose from the ruins. The clash between Knull and Anti-Venom was not just a fight, it was a cosmic contradiction, a paradox given form. One sought to reclaim the abyss, the other to purify it. As their powers collided, shockwaves rippled across dimensions. Symbiotes across galaxies screamed in agony as their god's control flickered. For the first time in eons, Knull felt something alien. Resistance. The god of the abyss tightened his grip on the Necrosword, his expression twisting into rage. "You cannot defy me, creation. I am your father." Anti-Venom's aura pulsed brighter, his voice rising above the storm. Then maybe it's time a son stood up to his father. The battle to come would shake the foundation of both light and shadow, and in that clash, the universe would witness whether purity could truly stand against the god of the void. The stage was set, the light was ready, the darkness had awakened, and in the heart of the storm, the war between Knull and Anti-Venom had just begun. The heavens burned black as Knull descended in full wrath. The skyline of New York twisted into his image, towers warped like melted candles, asphalt cracked into veins of darkness. The All-Black Necrosword pulsed in his grasp, each beat of its blade echoing like a heart forged from the void. Across the horizon, Anti-Venom stood defiant, his form glowing like a newborn star against the onyx storm. The god of the abyss raised his hand. The ground split open, and from the cracks surged rivers of black symbiotic flesh, writhing and screaming like tortured souls. They formed monstrous beasts, dragons, serpents, and nightmarish titans, all extensions of Knull's will. The sky became alive with their roars as they spiraled downward, blotting out the last flickers of light. Anti-Venom clenched his fists, the purifying aura intensifying until the night itself seemed to recoil. "You want me?" he growled. "Then come take me." He launched himself forward like a comet of white fire, crashing through the first wave of symbiotic beasts. Each strike released shockwaves of holy energy that vaporized their forms into ash. His punches tore through wings, his aura burned through scales, and his touch reduced the living abyss to mist. For a moment, it seemed as though the light might prevail, but Knull only smiled, cold and cruel. "Do you think I am mere flesh, child?" he hissed. "I am the void itself." He plunged the Necrosword into the earth. From its blade, a surge of black lightning erupted, consuming the battlefield in living shadow. The city vanished beneath a dome of darkness, a pocket dimension of pure abyssal energy. Inside it, there was no sound, no air, no life, only Knull's will. Anti-Venom staggered, his glow flickering as the pressure of Knull's realm crushed around him. His purification energy flared, pushing back the darkness, but every inch of progress cost him strength. Knull appeared behind him, moving faster than thought, his blade slicing through the air. Anti-Venom barely dodged, the Necrosword grazing his chest and sending waves of corrosive energy through his body. He roared, retaliating with a blast of white fire that sent Knull crashing backward into the void. But Knull's laughter echoed everywhere. His form disintegrated into shadows, then reformed behind Eddie. A tendril of darkness pierced through Anti-Venom's back, lifting him into the air like a puppet. "You burn bright," Knull said, voice thick with malice, but all flames die in time. Anti-Venom's body convulsed. He summoned every ounce of his healing power, detonating a burst of purifying light that shattered the tendril and hurled Knull backward. The explosion illuminated the dark dimension, revealing billions of symbiote tendrils writhing like ocean waves. The god was everywhere, his essence scattered through every particle of the abyss. "Your purity burns," Knull admitted, reforming from the shadows. "It is impressive, but you fight against infinity, little mortal." Anti-Venom charged once more, his aura blazing so brightly it cracked the darkness itself. He punched through Knull's chest, ripping apart the shadowed flesh. A surge of cleansing energy spread through the god's form, disintegrating layers of symbiotic matter. For the first time in millennia, Knull screamed, a sound that shattered mountains and rippled across realities. Yet his scream turned to laughter. Pain is just another shape of creation, he whispered. His body reformed instantly, black veins wrapping around Anti-Venom's arms and pulling him in close. You have light, Knull growled, but I am the source of every shadow your light creates. Knull unleashed the full might of his divine essence. Galaxies trembled as his aura flared, the abyss swallowing Anti-Venom whole. Darkness surged through Eddie's body, invading his cells, tearing at his core. He screamed as Knull's will flooded his mind, trying to overwrite his very being. The Anti-Venom symbiote writhed, caught between purity and corruption, its white surface turning gray. But Eddie fought back. He saw flashes of memory, the people he saved, the evil he purged, the light he brought to a world drowning in hate. His roar cut through the storm as his body exploded with radiant energy once more, tearing through the encroaching darkness. I'm not yours, he bellowed, unleashing a wave of purification that burned across the void like a nova. For a heartbeat, Knull staggered. His symbiote army screamed in agony, their connection severed for the first time. Stars beyond the dome flickered back to life. The god of darkness dropped to one knee, the necrosword dimming, but gods do not fall so easily. Knull raised his head, eyes burning red as supernovas. You dare wound your creator, he thundered, then feel the abyss reborn. The necrosword ignited with cosmic flame. Knull drove it into Anti-Venom's chest, releasing a torrent of living darkness that erupted outward in an explosion of black light. Anti-Venom's scream echoed across dimensions as his white armor cracked, his glow fading beneath the flood of void energy. The purity was overwhelmed, his healing light suffocated beneath the pressure of an eternal god. When the light finally dimmed, only Knull stood. He looked down at Eddie Brock, motionless, his white symbiote now stained with streaks of black. The god's voice lowered, almost reverent. You came close, my wayward son, closer than any mortal ever should. He raised the necrosword, absorbing the remnants of Anti-Venom's energy into its blade. The weapon gleamed faintly, not pure light, not full shadow, but something between. Knull smiled darkly. Even purity, he murmured, is a tool of the abyss. The dark dome dissolved, revealing the ruined city beneath. Lightning of crimson and black split the sky. Knull stood atop the wreckage, his power restored, his dominion renewed. The symbiotes across the cosmos felt their god's triumph and howled in celebration. The god of the abyss had proven once again that all things, even light, even hope, eventually returned to darkness, and so ended the rebellion of the cure, consumed by the god who birthed the disease. Knull had won.